ourselves and our lives and our problems so seriously, and we begin to see it's all relative. It's the same emotions. We're just finding reasons in our life to feel those emotions, whether you have a disease or whether you're broke or whatever it is. But sooner or later, people stop relying on their outer world and they start trusting their inner world. If you're relying on your outer world to control how you think and feel, and you say, I saw my ex-husband or my ex-wife, or I saw my boss, or I saw my bank account, and now I'm just depressed. Well, what you're really saying is some outer experience is controlling your thoughts and feelings, which makes you a victim. When you start changing your thinking and feeling and you start seeing effects in your life, now you're less likely to believe that you're the victim of your life, and you start believing more that you're the creator of your life, and some veil, some conditioning is removed. And that's not something we do in one swallow. That's not something we do in one bite. It takes constant practice to be the scientist in your life, to measure the effects of you would cause. Not just doing a meditation and getting up and going back to work and judging everybody. You've just disconnected from the energy of your future, and you're back to the energy of your past. I want people to be able to maintain those states independent of the conditions in their environment. And if they're able to maintain those states and keep their energy, stay connected to that energy for the entire day, something unusual is going to happen in their life. It's the law. There'll be some synchronicity, some coincidence, some opportunity, some serendipity. That, you know, in the beginning you're looking around going, oh, but nobody else is you, so they don't really see it. But you see, something's happening here. I'm getting feedback from my life. And the moment you get feedback, you start paying attention to what you're doing, and you do it again. And I think that's how we begin to become more of a creator of our life and less of a victim of our lives. Well, I think if we use feelings as a barometer for change, I think we talk ourselves out of possibility, because those feelings are familiar emotions from the past. And if people don't feel like it, that's the body. That's the body not wanting to be dragged into a future because it doesn't see it, right? So I think that when I witness and interview people that have had spontaneous remissions, really profound physical changes in their body, I mean, they had every reason to not do the work. They felt sick, they didn't feel good, they were tired, they had doubt, they had fear. But after looking at all those brain scans after all these years, I honestly believe we're at our absolute best when we get beyond ourselves. That's the work. Getting beyond ourselves, the programs, the emotions, the habituations, our frustrations, our impatience, our analytical mind. That's what stands in the way between us and our really profound power. So then as we begin to take that on, that's like lighting a match in a dark place. And I want people to come up against those states in our workshop. I want them, because many times at home they come up against that point and they just quit. They don't believe in themselves. And if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in possibility. But when you do believe in possibility, you do believe in yourself. And when you do believe in yourself, you do believe in possibility. So when the person comes to the end of their emotional belief, as an example, and they sit there and they go a little further, now the will is getting greater than the program.
Right.
Now the body is no longer the mind, and there'll be a liberation of energy. That's a victory. Every time they start getting emotional and they settle their body back down in a meditation, that's a victory. They're mastering the moment. Every time they want to get up and do something because they think they're a busy person and there's not enough time, and they settle their body back down into the present moment, that's a victory. Every time they're putting their attention on some known future event and they become aware that they've lost the present moment, and they return back to the present moment, and they take their attention off the known, they're making room for the unknown in their life. But if they don't know what they're doing, then it just becomes a battle against the self. So as we develop the understanding, we develop the practicum, and they understand what they're doing, then it's like working out. I can do one more repetition, I can run a little further, I can stretch a little bit more, because they understand that as they stretch a little bit further, that's how plasticity works. You got to stretch a little bit further outside the box. And when people start latching on to some degree of change, they may have a period of quiescence for 2 weeks, like nothing's really happening. And they're about ready to give up, and then they just go, I'm just going to keep going. The experiment is for 3 weeks. All of a sudden, boom, they go a little further, their heart opens, they lay down after their meditation, they have a profound moment. They're less likely when they're driving to work to think about all the people that they dislike. After a moment like that, they're just overjoyed. They're no longer the same person to some measure, to some degree. And I think as they change their personality, your personality creates your personal reality. You start seeing changes in your personal reality. We become more passionate about doing it, and we understand that we're more conscious. And I think about this a lot too. We work so hard in the process of overcoming ourselves to overcome our ego. You start figuring it out. Like, why would you build it up the same day if you know you're going to have to face off with it tomorrow, right? And that's me. That's what I think. I think, God, I just worked for the last hour and a half, just get beyond myself. Why would I want to do the same thing or be the same person after I just overcame? So you start figuring it out. So now you're more conscious in your life and less likely to go unconscious. Now, what's the relevance of that? If you're more conscious in your life, well, the problems that we've created in our life were created from some level of consciousness or unconsciousness. So then in order to resolve the problems in your life, you got to go to a greater level of consciousness. Just becoming conscious of the way you think, the way you act, and the way you feel. You're at a greater level of awareness. You're at a greater energy. You may not be that other person yet, but now you know, and you're less likely to let that thought slip by your awareness unchecked during the day because you faced off with it for the last 2 hours. Now, some people would say, well, that's going to take too long. Well, really? Tell me the alternative. I mean, because if you haven't taken care of that circuit, it's going to be there tomorrow. If you haven't taken care of your emotional reactions to the people in your life, that disease is going to come back, or that health problem, or that pain, or that imbalance is going to come back because you're back in the past. So when people start to figure this out, they're just saying, man, it was that emotion that signaled the gene. Now that I understand that, okay, now I just got to be aware of what those feelings feel like in my body. What does it feel like? And they start figuring it out, and they start saying, ooh, I start feeling it's coming up. And they don't just let it turn in like they surrender to fear. They'll take a moment, they'll settle down and regulate their body, and they'll surrender to love. And that's the alternative. And when they do that enough times, everybody starts noticing they're more loving in their life, and they like the way they feel. And they go, well, I'd rather have this than that. So trading guilt or fear for love and freedom is a challenge, because people don't believe that they can get there because they're so anchored. But you push enough people and it starts happening and people start breaking through, it becomes very infectious. I watch it all the time. The week-long we did in Sardinia, people would go and then they'd come back to their programs, and I have to push them a little harder, then I have to remind them, and it took us a couple days, and then they broke through, and then the miraculous was all over the place. When we were in Berlin, that audience was ready. They were like, push us, let's go. We don't care, we just want to go. And so when you have that kind of willingness and that kind of maturity, the people changes start happening very quickly. It becomes very infectious, and now, the new infection is wellness, happiness, health, freedom, connection. That's the new infection. And I think that we don't have to die to have a transcendental experience. I think we have to live for it, and a certain part of us may have to die. That process of disconnecting from the program or uncluttering ourselves from our biology is uncomfortable. And when people start to understand when they're uncomfortable, they're in the river of change, and then you can provide opportunities, numerous opportunities for them to connect. That's what I want. I want numerous opportunities for people to connect. You may not get it the first time, you may not get it the second, you may not get it the third day. But if you hang in there, you're going to run into it sooner or later, because that's where your attention is, and it's going to come when you least expect it. So the numerous opportunities to connect that people begin to experience, then they're less likely to try to change. They're less likely to wish and want and hope. They're more likely to surrender to the process, and I think surrendering to the process becomes a lot easier and a new way to do it. So we're seeing that quite a bit in our student body.
I hope you loved this video and it was helpful. So please help me make it more popular by giving your thumbs up, commenting it and sharing on the social networks with your friends. And now it's time for our daily Complete the Quote challenge. If you are new to this, your job is to complete the inspiring quote we choose for you and write the right answer in the comments below the video. If you can give us the right answer first, you are the winner of this daily challenge. So far, you are very successful. Most of you knew the right answers. That's not surprise, the most quotes belongs to Joe Dispenza, and you're all familiar with Joe's work. In the previous video we also had a quote that belongs to Joe Dispenza. We were looking for two words. The quote goes like this: "You will learn that the true purpose of meditation is to get beyond the analytical mind and enter the..." and the correct answer was subconscious mind. So you will learn that the true purpose of meditation is to get beyond the analytical mind and enter the subconscious mind. Congratulations to everyone with the correct answer, and to everyone who tried but didn't guess the answer. Today we also have the quote from Joe Dispenza. The quote goes like this: "You can change your brain just by..." So we are missing for two words. If you know the correct answer, write it down in the comment section. Even if you're not sure what the right answer is, try and guess. And find out the right answer in the next video. If you like this video and our challenge, give your thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Spread the word. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button. By doing that, you will get notification when my new video and new challenge is out. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day.